Hey, good morning again. We're ready to begin. We'll begin with the University of Illinois head coach Brad Underwood. We'll ask Coach to make an opening statement, and then we will take your questions. Coach, opening statement.
Well, it's great to be here. It's been 9 years of dreaming a big dream since I took the Illinois job, and a lot of people to thank along that. I'd be very remiss if I tried to mention them all, and I would miss somebody. But I'm excited that this group of guys gets to experience this opportunity. We know that we've got a great opponent in UConn, a team that we saw earlier in the year. I'm very grateful for Danny sending a tweet out early in the year after I congratulated him on a win and him being able to foresee that we'd both be here in Indy. But excited for our fans, excited for our university. It's an incredible opportunity. Looking forward to seeing all the orange and blue in Lucas Oil on Saturday night, and looking forward to the challenge of playing a great UConn team, and obviously one that very tough and has no quit in them. So, we're excited to be here.
Thank you, Coach. If you have a question, raise your hand. Bridget, Isabella, Caitlin, or Tucker will get a microphone to you. And again, please give your name and affiliation. Coach, we're going to start over here on our right-hand side on the second row.
Zach Osman, Indianapolis Star. Brad, I don't know how much you think about it, but you're familiar with the city, obviously playing in the Big Ten, but the last time you were here for the NCAA tournament was a bit of a strange experience. Just kind of what do you remember about that tournament, maybe that season, and just how it built into, imagine a tournament everybody was curious to live once, maybe doesn't ever want to have to do again.
I would agree with that. I think it was, it's the last time I've been back in this building. I think, excuse me, I think it was the second time all year that we did play in front of a few fans. Obviously, this building was constructed a little differently for the Big Ten tournament, but most of my memories are on the basketball side are pretty positive. The other stuff wasn't. We never went outside. The day we were to go to the baseball field, it rained. Then the uniqueness of having to go to being quarantined and never really being able to celebrate that Big Ten victory, was all a unique experience. But always excited to be back here. Indianapolis is a great host. It's one of the best Final Four cities ever, in my opinion, and looking forward to being here.
Coach, we'll go over to our left-hand side, third row.
Michael Presti, NCAA.com. In the business and noise of this week, Brett, have you been able to take a moment to reflect on your own journey, or how long it's been, how hard you have had to work? And having gone through that, does this make it even more meaningful just because you've labored so long for this moment?
Yeah, I think it was fun after winning the region to sit back and just think a little bit. I hope to get to do that, in the future after all of this is over. But I think one of the really neat things for me has been that all the stops along the way, some of the people that have reached out, and the old friends and the old acquaintances, and the people that are coming from all those stops has just been, it means a lot to me. And I say it all the time. I hope I'm not known for wins and losses. I hope I'm known for impacting some lives of people and creating memories. And that's what that's come to fruition a little bit with some of the texts and phone calls I've gotten here in the last few days.
Coach, we'll go back over to our right-hand side corner.
Hey, Brad, Dan Walken, Yahoo Sports. Obviously, a lot's been made of how well you guys have recruited the Europeans. What did it take for you to sort of establish that pipeline, those relationships, some of the legwork that you had to put in?
Well, I've always loved them. I've had them. I started back when I was at Western Illinois recruiting internationally. Orlando Antigua, obviously on our staff, has got tremendous international connections. We've had them early at Illinois, from all over. And then that's just continued. NIL has helped open some of those doors. And when Orlando left and Jeff Alexander basically took over, the Euro market was something that we were interested in. We knew we needed positional size. We knew we were recruiting shooting. They do it as well as anybody in the world, in my opinion. And Jeff has spent many trips going over there, developing relationships, and now Orlando comes back, and we've just invested heavily in doing that. We believe in it.
Coach, we'll stay in the midsection over to our right-hand side. Right in the middle. Oh, we got one behind you first. Quick.
Coach, some of the guys in the locker room said that Jake Davis has become kind of an honorary Balkan. What makes him fit with those guys, and how did he earn that honor, I guess?
You probably got to be a little bit crazy, which Jake probably is. And, I think that, he's gone out of his way to make those guys feel at home. I think he's brought them back here to Indiana with him in the summer, and on off weekends they hang out a lot. I think they've got similar things in common personally. And Jake's just, Jake's our leader. Everybody likes Jake, and great teammate. And he's also a little bit confrontational. He's not afraid to get on those guys, but he's probably, as much as anybody, helped in ways that maybe they needed help in terms of the American ways and basketball and me and our program become more comfortable. So yeah, he's very much ingrained with those guys.
Okay, we'll try in the middle now.
Okay, trying again. Eddie Pels with AP. You're talking the European players. They played pro ball over there. Could you kind of explain the difference between that kind of pro ball and the kind of pro ball that would be like the G League or something that's kind of under the microscope here about whether those players should be able to play in college?
Theirs is just clubs. Those are and people forget our guys are young guys. I mean, it's Mihailo's the oldest, but David Merkovich just turned 19, and the one thing that I think that we can't lose sight of is high school kids are getting NIL now. We're getting that in college, and they don't have an opportunity to play at the university level. They're put into a system that allows them to play at the club level and on their junior teams and develop. And I think that's the main difference. But I'd argue in today's world, we're all these kids are finding opportunities that allow them to receive compensation.
Coach, we'll go over here on our left-hand side, in the second row.
Ryan Baker, CBS Chicago. Coach, how different did it hit when you got to the hotel, your locker room, to see that Illinois plastered everywhere, the Final Four, walking on the court? And is it helpful to have this day to kind of get it all out of the way, maybe some of the emotions, and then narrow your focus on UConn for Saturday? Yeah, well, and my hat's off to the NCAA. I mean, this is incredible. This is impressive what they do in the hotels for the student athletes, and you got blankets on your bed and pillowcases and the game rooms to help all of them, and the team rooms, and then you walk in here and you've got your team picture plastered in your locker room, and all the individual photos and just the hallways. It makes it feel very, very special. You're always going to feel that when you walk on the court. And you're in a football stadium, and the seats a lot more people that we play in front of. But it was really neat to see the kind of giddy, smiling faces of a group of guys that worked really hard to get here and experience that. But yeah, it helps having a day today, and you kind of knock it all out and get a feel for it and an understanding that it is a little bit different. But it's still business as usual, and we're going to conduct it that way.
Okay, we're going to go right here in the very front row.
Jeremy Warner, Atlanta Inquirer. Brad, you've done countless interviews the last couple of days nationally. What does this platform mean for your program, to spread it nationally?
I think it's just I think it goes beyond the program. I think it's the university. I think it's the state of Illinois. I think it's Champaign-Urbana. I think it's I think it's continued next step development is the way I look at it. And I think it's we play in a lot of big games. We play a great schedule. We play on national television every single night, but not to this level. And you just got to keep knocking on the door and keep finding ways to improve. And to me, this is a step that allows us to improve. And along the way, it brings great memories, and it helps our university, and brings it at the forefront. I'm excited about that.
Okay, we'll go over here on to our right, on the aisle.
Oh. Hi, Bruce Pasco with the Arizona Daily Star. Kylan's been pretty open about that he had a lot of scrutiny off the court at Arizona. And what's his evolution been at Illinois and going home, which can be a distraction, I know sometimes.
I think going home has helped. I think that a place that Kylan was so beloved. I think so many friends and family, and everybody says, well, sometimes that can be a distraction. I think it's just been a source of comfort for him. Mom, dad, grandparents, everybody's right there. I think that our fans have a great appreciation for one of their own, and then the way he's handled himself has been, just been elite. He's been a joy to coach. He's unselfish. He's been a guy that is all about winning. When I think of Kylan, I think of those things, and you've been a great teammate to everybody, and so he's as much a part of this success, and it's pretty unusual to do it from your hometown.
Coach, we'll go right in front of me, third row, right here.
How would you describe the dynamic between the Izich twins, and how have you kind of seen them handle their roles playing on the same team together this season?
Yeah, that's one of the things that in all honesty, we probably talked to Tommy a lot about when it became available that Z could come, and Tommy obviously they're all in. I mean, he wanted to play with his brother. He was excited about it. Z was all on board with that. There were some challenges early because of Tommy's tonsillitis. He hurts his knee. And those were kind of in the formative times of practice where, Tommy missed a lot of them. So we started out having to alternate those guys a lot, more because of Tommy's conditioning and his just missed time. Their chemistry is unbelievable. Their competitiveness is unbelievable. They go at each other all the time. They're very different people, even though they're twins, and yet their synergy is really fun to see. I think there's, for lack of a better word, those two set the tone for the other guys from over there, and they're just their comfort of being in the States, and their even though Z wasn't with us the whole time, they've helped ease some of the transition and the challenges that lie for the others. So great people, great personalities, and been an incredible group to coach.
Okay, we'll stay in the same section, about 3 rows back. Mike?
Yes, Mike DeCourcy from the Sporting News. Brad, I wanted to ask you about Andre. He's obviously had great games all the way through the year, but in terms of production anyway, the consistency hasn't been there. But over the last 3 weeks in the tournament, he's been phenomenal in big moments. Can you sort of explain what's opened up for him over that period of time and why it's working so well?
Yeah, I'm going to start with the obvious, is health. The ankle injury, and he's had multiple ankle sprains this year, but the last one was a doozy. So I think that incorporating him back in took a little bit of time. You know, when you've got an ankle injury, you're going to lose conditioning. You're not able to do much. But I think he's as healthy as he's been. I also think he's one of the great listeners, and I mean that in a positive way. We missed 7 weeks with him. The first day of school, he hurts his knee, misses 7 weeks, and misses all those really times that I wanted to coach him hard and demand him in practice and get him right and get his mentality right. But the one thing he's done is he's accepted defending, he's accepted rebounding. We all know his offense can come, and that he's a very capable guy there. But now he has just adjusted. I couldn't have asked anything more coming off the bench, and he's done that in a way that has helped us grow and play our best basketball. And you know, I think he likes the comfort of seeing the game for a few minutes and knowing where his opportunities are when he comes in.
Okay, we have time for a couple more. We'll start over here on our right-hand side on the aisle.
Jaden Daly with Daily Dose of Hoops. Brad, the last time you played UConn in the tournament was the Elite Eight game in Boston, the 30-0 run. But since that night...
Thanks for the reminder, by the way.
Since that night, what's been the most satisfying part for you with how this program has rebuilt and grown and gone onto this platform now?
It's just that. And I don't think we've rebuilt. I just think we reload. And it's looked different. I've said all along, you just have to keep knocking on the door. And our opportunities was going to come. We learned a lot from that game. And you know, I thought that team was a Final Four team that just happened to play a damn good basketball team in the Elite Eight. And so we didn't get there. But you know, I think we grew from that from a standpoint of understanding how hard it is, what that looks like. But it's hard to argue with what Danny's done throughout his time there and the consistency. And that's the one thing we've tried to match is the consistency and not ever look at it as a rebuild, but just a reload.
Coach, we have one final one from Myron right in front of me.
Kev, ESPN. Coach, you talked about West Illinois and the international flavor. You had the 99-2000 team, Fernando Colonese, Juan Martinez. Where did you find those guys, and what was it about them that made you feel like you should recruit more guys like that?
Yeah, they were skilled. They were really good players. Juan Martinez was a really, really good player, and you know, and Fernando was huge. You know, and those guys were guys that actually came to the States. Juan played at Quincy High School. And Fernando went a year of junior college. And, you know, times were different there in terms of academics and what those things, those opportunities look like. But, you know, they both had great careers. And, you know, it was a way for us to go find, you know, positional size. And Fernando was 6'11", 260, and you know, Juan was a very skilled 6'8", 6'9", just tough physical athlete. So we won a lot of games with those guys.
Coach Underwood, thank you for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Again, Hammond Communications will post a recording of